In a FOX23 investigation, a local family wants to find their missing loved one. Detectives believe she was murdered 13 years ago and her body is still missing.
Tulsa's investigative reporter Janna looked into this to try to help the family get some answers.
So far, no one has been able to find her. On a hot day last summer, a team searched for hours around this home in Creek County, but they didn't find Tina Brashear.
I think they've missed the mark. I believe she's still there.
Her brother, Daniel Brashear, spent 20 years in law enforcement. Back in 2011, he reported his sister was missing.
She had a big heart, you know, she was a very kind person and very loving person.
She was a mom?
She was a mom. She had 4 kids, loved her kids more than anything.
Daniel said his sister always kept in touch with family, but stopped.
The last time that she was seen alive was April 1st of 2011. I had a feeling we'd never see her again.
Really?
Yeah. She would call mom, and she never called.
About 3 months before that, Tina had a fight with her boyfriend, James Alexander, who went by Jimmy. He went to jail that day.
She was injured when I picked her up.
What was wrong?
She had been hit in the face several times. We spoke all the way home about her needing to get away from there and get out of that situation.
What was her reaction to you telling her, you know, you need to get out of this relationship?
I'll never see him again. I'm through with this relationship.
Tina stayed away for a while, but she did see Jimmy again.
On April 1st, they were at some friend's house and they were starting to argue again, and the friend that they were visiting asked them to leave, and that was the last time anyone ever saw her.
The affidavit says when detectives asked Jimmy what happened that day, he said he did not remember for sure because he gets foggy when he drinks. And he admitted he gets mean when he has too much to drink.
I believe that he beat her to death.
What makes you say that?
A witness had gone into the house, saw a fireplace poker that had hair and blood on it.
The affidavit says that witness, Ricky Toe, came to Jimmy's house the next day and saw blood everywhere. He got sick and ran outside and threw up. He said he noticed that Jimmy had his arm in a sling and scratches all over his face. The affidavit also says Jimmy admitted to friends, "I have been a bad boy," and later said, "I did it. I am sorry, and I am so sad."
You're a Creek County deputy at the time, and this happens in your county, and that's your sister.
It's pretty rough. I made it a point to stay away from it, not get in the computer, not read or try to find out what they were doing. My trust was in our investigations, and I trusted that they were doing the right thing and doing a good job for my family and I to help solve this case.
Apparently someone was worried about Daniel.
There was a plot to kill me.
Kill you?
Yeah, they were going to kill me.
The affidavit says Jimmy told someone he wanted Dan dead.
They were nervous because you were in law enforcement?
Yeah, they were.
What was that like?
I feared for my family's safety more than my own.
2 years, 1 month, and 1 day after Tina went missing, Jimmy was charged with murder. His dad, Jack, was charged with accessory to murder.
Why do you think his dad helped?
Just that's his son. I think that he would have done anything to help him.
After Tina went missing, so did the car Jimmy was driving. This 1995 maroon Chrysler Concorde. I found the car on Google Maps. When detectives confronted Ricky at his home, he admitted he bought it from Jack and that all of the trunk's interior had been pulled out and cleaned up. He also said Jack told him that Jimmy and Tina were drinking and had gotten into an argument over when Tina had Jimmy arrested for domestic assault. The argument got out of hand, and Jimmy beat Tina with the metal rod until she died.
What was that like, finding out that your sister had been killed?
You think about your parents. She was my only sibling, you know, and she was a mother. You think about her children and that we're not going to see her again.
Do you remember what that was like for her children?
They were devastated.
Daniel prepared himself for what comes next, a trial. But Jimmy never left the jail.
They found that he had been sick and he had fallen and hit his head, and they found he had a brain bleed and he ended up passing away.
So even though he got charged, he was never convicted?
No.
What about his dad?
He was charged, never convicted.
So do you feel like Jack got away with it?
I do, and he passed away shortly thereafter.
Ricky Toe never faced any charges. He died in 2015.
Do you think he should have been charged?
I do.
What Daniel's family wanted more than a conviction was to find Tina's body.
All of that was more important to my family and I than someone getting charged with accessory to murder. So if we could have traded, just tell us where she's at and we'll never talk to you again.
You wanted information.
That's all we wanted.
Is that still what you want?
It is. The person responsible for killing my sister is, he's gone. He's getting his justice. So we want my sister back.
For years, Creek County detectives worked the case, but it went cold until last summer they searched behind this home where Jimmy lived. In the affidavit, a witness says Jimmy told him he had gotten rid of the girl and that he thought he hid the body good. It also says Jimmy asked his friend, "What would you think of me if I said I dismembered her?" Ricky had told detectives he'd seen a hand-dug grave behind Jimmy's house and said that he knew that was where Tina was. But they never found Tina. About 6 months ago, the case was moved to Muskogee Nation's Light Horse Police Department. That's because Tina and Jimmy were Creek citizens. So I called Muskogee Nation, and Press Secretary Jason Salzman told me it's a difficult case.
That's a great responsibility, and that great responsibility comes with a lot of difficulty, because when you factor in all of the circumstances now that have developed in this case, the deaths of the two men that were there, a lot of people just telling stories.
He says they plan to do everything they can to find Tina.
The Brashear family needs closure on this, and a big part of that is having the remains of their loved one and knowing where they are. And we still have a mission to find her.
The case being moved, has it given you some hope?
It has given me some hope. I just need somebody to get started. I'm saying give it an effort, and that's all we want. That's all my family wants.
Tell me what you've actually done so far to look into her case.
They're working the case, and they are waiting for any new information that may come along.
Tina's family wants to be able to bury her and finally have a funeral.
We think about her all the time. My mother cries about her all the time. We all want her back.
Do you think there's somebody out there who knows where she is?
I am certain there are people out there that know.
More than one?
More than one. I believe a few people know where she's at.
What would you like to say to the person who knows where her body is?
Speak up. You're not in trouble. You're not going to be in trouble. You know, help us get our loved one back.
You have no intention of getting the person in trouble who speaks up?
None at all. None at all. I would love to shake their hand.
In fact, would you even work to protect that person?
I would. I would do anything to get my sister back.
In Creek County, covering news that matters. Janna Clark, Fox 23 News.
If you have any information that you think could help investigators find Tina's remains, you can call the Light Horse Police Department.
You can also contact the Bureau of Indian Affairs by calling, emailing, or texting them. You can see all of that information on your screen right now on how to do that. You could snap a picture of it with your phone.
You can also contact the Bureau anonymously. They are offering a reward up to $5,000 if you give information that leads them to Tina's remains. We will also put that contact information on our website. Just look for this story.